But stop making excuses, stop whining, stop, right? Get at it. No excuses, just dominate. What is up, guys? Dr. Andrew Pinestead here, and today we're going to be talking about what it takes to be great, particularly as a student, and we're going to use the example of the recent amazing accomplishment by Eliud Kipchoge, who broke the 2-hour mark in a marathon. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm going to bring it today, guys, so let's get at it. And before I guess, as always, guys, I'm going to be doing these takes one take through. So this is as real and raw as it gets, and I thought that, I was going to do a whole polished, edited thing, but I thought, why, guys, right? You guys come to get information, you guys come to hang out with me, so let's hang, right? So even when we're not doing live, we're going to do it like we're live. One take, one opportunity, all my flubs and everything, we're going to bring it all to you, because that's what it is, right? Life is not perfection. What I bring to you guys, what we talk about, is things aren't perfect. Things aren't always, right? We have flaws, but through those flaws, we can be excellent. So I'm going to be excellent for you guys, as always, right here. So let's talk about it, right? Eliud Kipchoge, oh my gosh. It's amazing. If you guys don't know, a marathon is 26.2 miles. And Eliud Kipchoge, over the weekend, broke that mark. And he ran a sub 2-hour mile, 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds. And it's an amazing accomplishment because people have been trying to do this for forever and have been unable to do it. And for me, when I saw this story happen and I saw him break this marathon, it got me excited because I'm always trying to stress with you guys. Your potential is endless. The things you could accomplish would astonish you, but you have to step up to them. You have to do the work required to get there. And I think in reading, and of course that's my first thing, right, is that I see this great accomplishment. I'm like, oh, that's great. No. I then dive in. I learn everything I can about this gentleman and about the run and what it means for you guys. That's what I'm going to teach you guys about today. And so the first thing that it reminded me of in terms of him breaking this mark and getting there was my difficulties in reading. And if you guys don't know this, I constantly talk about this. I am and always have been a prodigiously slow reader. And when I started college, I can remember going back to high school and there being people who would pick on me by popcorn reading. And you guys remember popcorn reading? Right? Whose turn is it? Oh, I call on Billy. I call on Bob. And what the class and the rules of popcorn reading are the same at every school. You can't call the same person who called you, but you can call them again after that. So what used to happen was if someone would call on me, I would stumble and bumble through everything and I'd be sweating and it'd be terrible, it'd be awful as I tried to popcorn read. And the kids would laugh and yuck it up, and then I would pass it to someone. They couldn't pass it right back to me, so they would pass it to one other student. And then that student would pass it right back to me. They'd all laugh and have a good time as I struggled to read even the most basic materials. And over those years, right, if you guys don't know, my transformation from this bad student, from this bad reader, to this day still, all these years later, these decades later, I'm still a really slow reader. But what I learned and recognized was being a great student isn't about being the best at everything. It isn't about being the fastest reader, but I am not only a competent reader, I am a superior reader because my comprehension has improved. And getting there has taken a long time, and it's been a monumental feat for me to get there. But when I heard about this 2-hour mark and this marathon and this accomplishment, it kind of paralleled that in that we see that one Saturday accomplishment of 2 hours, and we say, oh, that's amazing, that's incredible. And we praise him for it, and we say, oh, he's gifted, he's an amazing marathon runner, but we don't recognize what went into that. And it's the same for me as a reader and as a student and as a professional. The things it's taken me to get there, it's incredible. So let's talk about it. So the three big lessons that I want you guys to pull from this gentleman breaking a record that has never been broken before is that, let's break down first what he did. And that is he ran 26.2 miles, which running that in 3 days is a feat. I once did one of those high school run-walk group marathons. It was ridiculous, but even that was tiring. So just watching other people run portions of 26 miles, I can imagine. But this gentleman ran 26.2 miles in just under 2 hours. And it's almost a half-minute faster than any person ever in history. And he already held the record for fastest marathon. And his time on this record-breaking day, he averaged just about 4.5 minutes per mile, which is insane. And so as I was reading about that, right, it drove me somewhere else. And what I remembered was I read a business book, and I had to search my shelves for it, and I couldn't find it, but I was able to Google it and look it up. And there's a great business book. And if you guys don't read business books, you absolutely should, because what business is about how our minds function, how we function as human beings. So it's great for being successful, because if you can make a business successful, you can make yourself as a person successful. And in this book, there's a book called The Power of Impossible Thinking by Yoram Wind and Colin Crook. And it's a great book if you ever get a chance to read it. And they talk about literally impossible thinking, in the sense that for so many of us, our thought pattern, our default mode is, that's impossible. I can't do that. And you have people around you who say, that's impossible. You can't do that. And the result of all that thinking is that you truly can't get there. But if you can set your mind to something, if you can create that belief, then you can achieve. And we hear all the time, believe to achieve, believe to achieve, believe to achieve. And it's one of those phrases that is said but poorly understood. Is said and heard but poorly interpreted. In the sense that people write it off as, oh, yeah, if I believe, I'm going to achieve. And they think that the only thing that's required is the belief to achieve. But that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that if you can believe, then you can achieve. Because without belief, there is no achievement. And I can speak to this firsthand. I mentioned my early academic struggles. And as part of that process, right, I was in my own head of thinking that I was a bad reader, that I was a bad student, that I was incapable, that I couldn't be better. And I would go into classes and I'm like, man, I just got to get through. I want no one to notice me. I just want to get my B and get out. And when I thought those B thoughts, right, when I thought the A was impossible, what happened, guys? I got the B. You know it, right? I got the B. I couldn't possibly get an A because I didn't believe it was possible. And the power of that, as we continue on with our marathon analogy, I hope you guys are following me here, is that if you guys, in the book, this Impossible Thinking book, one of the chapters, they took an entire chapter to talk about running. And they talk about Roger Bannister. And if you guys don't know who Roger Bannister is, he's the man who broke the first 4-minute mile back in the 1950s. He ran a 4-minute mile, which people thought at that time was impossible. No one would ever do it. They've been trying to do it for centuries, couldn't do it. He was able to do it. And what's amazing is no one had done it. They were trying to do it for like 100 years. They couldn't do it. And Roger Bannister ran this 4-minute mile. And when they look at his prep and what he did to get ready for this, okay, he used lots of positive visualization, tricking himself, if you will, right? Convincing himself over and over again every single day through his mental reps of visualizing that 4-minute mark. He created the belief in his mind, that way he could achieve it. And the amazing thing is that when he did it, right? No one did it they've been trying for 100 years, couldn't do it. He did it, and then within a short span, within a year or two, there were a handful of people who also ran under 4 minutes. And when they interviewed these people who would then run, right, who were also competitive runners at this time, they were like, man, whew, thank goodness someone did it. Now I know it's possible. And then people started accomplishing it. And for you guys, it's that same thing. You guys are often told you are what you are academically. You can't get better. You're an average student. You're a below average student. You're remedial. You're not an honors level student. You can't get here. You can't do this. You're not inclined to do math. You get told these things, and so you believe them. And so becoming anything else becomes the impossible. And I want to be that example for you guys so you guys understand that I was labeled. All these things you guys say, I was labeled. It was impossible for me to go to medical school. But I did it. And the day I was able to start doing it was when I was told explicitly by the person I was looking to for the best advice for my career, my freshman counselor, who said, you'll never get to medical school. And in that moment, it made me really realize and recognize that, wait, the reason I'm not an exceptional student, the reason I will not get to medical school is because I don't really believe that I can get to medical school. So I had to change that. And in creating that confidence, right, in saying I can do it, I literally manifested Stanford Medical School. And that may seem crazy, but what's interesting, right? I mentioned the prep for Roger Bannister running this 4-minute miles is a positive visualization. And people often, again, they laugh, right? Believe to achieve, positive visualization. We laugh at it. But let's break it down, the science of it and why it works. And when you positively visualize things, when you create that belief in your head, it actually changes your brain. It actually changes your life. And this is scientifically proven because when you are thinking about something, when you are believing, when you are visualizing it, you are activating the raw system. the reticular activating system. And this system in the brain, it literally controls what we perceive and what we don't perceive. So if we are visualizing the positive, if we are believing in ourselves, then what happens as a result of that, from that, we literally change the things that we focus on. And so we talk about attracting what you want. If you can believe in something and you think with your whole brain, I can do this, I can be better, I can achieve, I can make this happen, you literally change your brain to ignore anything that's not related to doing that. And you train your brain to focus on what will get you there. So all the people who are spitting sour negativity and venom in your ear, we're ignoring them. All the self-dialogue where we're telling ourselves we can't do it, we push that aside. And instead, we have our eyes on what is required of us to get there. And we start seeing opportunities instead of seeing obstacles. We start taking the right action instead of being inactive and procrastinating. Do you guys see what I'm saying right there? We literally are changing our brain to see our path to success. And for many of you guys, you can't even see and fathom a pathway to success. So how could you walk it? Of course you can't walk it. You can't walk a path you can't see. Some of y'all out here in the dark. Oh, I'm in the dark. Where am I? You can't even see the path, so you can't walk it. You can't do the right thing because you don't know what it is. You can't even get at it. So we first must understand the mind is bigger and badder than any problem you could ever imagine having. So we must take control of our mind and get our mind focused and believing that we can be great. And for me, like I said, it was a major turning point for me, and I encourage you guys to first have that mindset. And when we talk about Eliud Kipchoge, I'm calling him EK for short, so I don't be blotching that the whole time. You guys know I struggle with pronunciation. So EK. He visualized, and they talked about his prep leading up to this. And for 4 months, he locked himself away and he trained. And every single day, as part of his team, positive visualization. Creating that belief that these guys, even though they say I can't do it, I can do it, and I will do it. So that's the first lesson for you guys. If you want to be a great student, if you want to be successful, you first must believe that you can do it. Are you guys all still with me? Right? And again, this is one take, y'all. So if I sound crazy, if something sounds a little off, don't worry about that, y'all. I'm here with you guys right now, giving you everything I got to get you to your greatness. So if you are feeling this, if you are liking this, please, right, let me know. Reach out to me and let me know that I'm hitting the sweet spot for you guys in terms of what we're doing. So our first thing is that we get our mind right. And if you guys didn't know, I'm going to take a sidebar here. I have a course, Successful Student 21-Day Mindset Makeover. That's going to help you get your mindset right and get that belief happening. That way you can take effective action. The second lesson from this video that we can learn, right? Moving on from mindset. Once we get our mindset right, what's the second thing we have to do? Well, the second thing we have to do is, and we have to understand and we can learn from this feat, is that people will always find a reason to put an asterisk next to your accomplishment, next to your achievement. An asterisk. And I say this because after he ran, even before he ran this 2-hour marathon, people talked about reasons why it's invalid. And it's technically not recognized as an official world record. It has an asterisk next to it because the conditions were so optimal. Right? They want to put an asterisk on this man's achievement. And my first question to anybody is he the only one who has access to a flat road? Is he the only one who has access? And I'll run through all the things he talks about that he did. The first thing that they say, it shouldn't be a valid asterisk next to his accomplishment, is that throughout the race, he was sipping a high-carb sports drink, which has been shown to boost performance. Okay, so he had a sugar beverage. The second thing is that he had a team of 30 some odd pace setters who would rotate. They would do flying V, Mighty Duck style. Who remembers Mighty Ducks? Emilio Estevez, right? Goldberg. This is off topic, on topic. I ran into Goldberg at a Laker game one time. And it was funny. It's one of those moments where someone saves you from yourself, because I was going to yell to him. I was like, Goldberg! But someone else beat me to it. And the look of pure disgust on his face at being called Goldberg, I was like, oh gosh, it wasn't me. So I went up and I was like, hey, how you doing? I just want to let you know, Man, I was a huge fan of those movies. Well, and I walked on, but I didn't call him Goldberg, so I'm thankful that I got saved from that. But anyway, the point is they were in a flying V formation, breaking the wind barriers down for him, right? That wind resistance. The third thing is that he was wearing these crazy new, not even on the market, Nike Vapor shoes, which people are theorizing about. It's like a patent office, and there's all these crazy things to look at. And they're like, these shoes have a carbon fiber pole, and they're designed like this, and they have the max amount of recoil, and they align the legs, and all these things that give them all this unfair advantage, right? And they talk about these shoes. And so they talk about all the things that make this race advantageous for him. And what I would say to you guys, when I heard all this, it reminded me of this. Is that for you guys, too often we think that amazing, that excellent, that exceptional happens by chance, by accident, by natural ability. But the reality is for you as a student, if you want to be exceptional, it takes not only tremendous planning, but then also execution in that planning, and that you must have the right tools and right assets at your disposal that allow you to perform at your absolute best. Do we hear what I'm saying right here? So even before I get there, I'm going to break that down, but let's take a step back. Could he have run this 2-hour marathon without all this assistance? No. He could not do it with his natural ability, even though he's the greatest marathon runner in the world. So for you guys as students, you must understand that you can't do things completely alone, completely without help, without guidance, without instruction. You can't be the best student you could possibly be without help, without assistance, without tools to get there. Do we understand that? The second thing is seeking help, seeking advantage, seeking tools is not cheating, is not grounds for an asterisk, because excellence is excellence. And his name will remain in history forever as the first person to break 2 hours. No one will care about the fact that he was wearing certain shoes or people were flying Ving him. What they'll care about is that he got the job done. Everyone else could have gotten these things together and run that mile, but they didn't. He did. And therefore, he will forever be remembered in the running community as the person who broke that 2-hour mark. For you guys sweat, right? Oh gosh, I don't want to seem like I don't know what's going on. I want to seek help. You got to get help. You got to figure out what you're doing. And I've had encounters with students where I literally try to help them learn how to study better, and they're like, oh no, I don't need help. I got that. Oh, you know what? I don't need help here. I got that on lock. I read well. I just need help here. And it's like, no, baby. It's all about changing your whole game up. We got to change everything. If you want to transform, we got to change everything. You got to be phenomenal. We got to have all of our ducks in a row if you want to break that 2-hour mark. You got to have all your ducks in a row if you want to be the exceptional student you could possibly be. And the reason most people don't reach their potential, because a lot of people could have gotten the team together. But they were like, oh, I could have ran that 2 hour, but I didn't get the team together. Well, then get the team together. Justification and your lack of action and your lack of willingness to get the tools and put the things around you need to be successful as a student don't make it any better that you failed to live up to your potential. Do you hear what I'm saying right there? Just because you fail to do what you know you could have done to be successful because it was too hard, too strenuous, too difficult, because other people would look at you crazy if you did those things, it doesn't justify your failure. You're a failure because you didn't live up to your potential. And as I say that, I want to really clarify this because some people are going to be like, oh, that's harsh. I'm not being harsh. What I'm saying is, and what I'm telling you guys, and what you guys have to understand, is that in this world, the only true failure is if you don't live up to your potential. If you don't push the line of that potential and live up to it, you're a failure. And within that, we have to understand that to get to our potential, it takes help. It takes work. It takes effort to get there. And we talk about this race, and it was so funny. I mentioned how it reminds me of these students who are scared to ask for help and do different things, but it reminds me also of, I don't know if you guys remember Oscar Pistorius. I'm going to botch his name. Oscar Pistorius. Goodness. And he was a South African runner. And the way I actually first heard about him was actually not through watching him run. It was actually through hearing Cat Williams make a joke about it. And you remember this Cat Williams stand up and he said, poor little Tink Tink? Oh, poor little Tink Tink. People making fun of him for his legs. And so Oscar Pistorius is a South African runner who lost his legs And so he uses artificial kind of like running blades for his lower legs. And this man managed to qualify for the Olympics and run the Olympics as a sprinter with artificial legs. And what was amazing was, right, if like imagine, right, someone told you, like a guy with no legs, his prosthetic legs, he's going to run with world-class Olympians. Would you be impressed by that? I was. And what was amazing, I thought that was they weren't going to let him run because they were trying to say he had an unfair advantage because he didn't have muscle in the lower part of his legs that would fatigue and that would build up lactic acid, so he had an unfair advantage. And my question to, like, and it was Cat Williams' really astute view on this is, you mean the guy who has no legs has an advantage over the guys with legs in a running contest? It's ludicrous. But it's the perfect example of no matter what you're doing, how excellent you're, like, imagine, coming over the cycle, and this is, right, this is deep, our mindset. Imagine overcoming the psychology of losing your legs or not having legs to say, you know what? I'm not going to be upset about that, even though this is a major thing. I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. And I'm going to push my potential. Not only be a Paralympian, but to be a full-blown Olympian and compete with all the world's best athletes. Imagine just the mindset of that, let alone the amount of work it would take to get there. And people are going to put an asterisk on that accomplishment. And so I just thought about that. And as it translates to my education and what I was thinking about, people putting asterisks on stuff. And a lot of people like to say the reason I got into Stanford was because I'm a black man. And they say that, oh, when you're black, you just get into medical school. And the reality is, guys, is people can try to put an asterisk on my accomplishment, but you can't. You can't. Why? Two things. The first thing is I know where I started. I know what work, what sacrifice I put in. I know the amount of time I spent learning how to study. The amount of discipline that I had to develop to do what I had to do, which was work harder than most other people because I wasn't as naturally gifted. I didn't start as strong of a place. I had to do a lot more work to get caught up, but I did it. So I know the work I did. I know what I accomplished to get into Stanford Medical School. So I will let no one put an asterisk on my accomplishment. And for you guys, you should think the same. There's no reason that anyone can be able to talk down on your accomplishments. If you know you put in the work, if you know you did what was required to get there, don't let other people make you feel bad for your greatness. Don't let other people take the shine, right? Don't put dirt on that shoulder, right? Get your dirt off your shoulder. Don't let them put shade into your shine, y'all. Can we say it again? Don't let other people throw shade because you're shining. Let your shining star free. Be that greatness. Embrace that greatness. Know that this is me. And I won't let you put a damper on what I've accomplished. And I've seen this in a couple different ways. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this. You get an A, and someone's like, oh, that's because, you know what, you studied a whole bunch. Well, yeah, I did study. Oh, well, that's because, you know, you took AP whatever, so you were already ready for that. Right? Or, oh, you had the notes. Or, oh, you know what, I could have gotten that if I would have. Don't let people put your accomplishments down. That's the first thing I'll say. The second thing I'll say to people who say that I only got into medical school because I was in black is that if black was the only criteria for getting in and you were black, you get in, then why aren't more black people in medical school, particularly black men? Right? So whenever someone comes at you, and I bring this up because whenever someone comes at you and tries to put an asterisk on your accomplishment, and as a minority, right, as a disadvantaged student in higher education, I want to speak to you guys out there who are disadvantaged and underrepresented to let you know that people are going to make you feel like an imposter. People are going to make you feel like you don't belong. People are going to make you feel like you're the token, you're the affirmative action student. Don't let them do that to you. You do deserve to be there. You do belong. You are incredible. Don't let them make you feel bad. You guys understand what I'm saying? Don't let them and their hang-ups affect what you got to do and affect the joy you have from your success. So I want to say that, guys, is that people are always going to try to qualify your accomplishments. Don't let them. Be proud of it. Because excellence is excellence, and if you get there, people remember your name for forever. The third and final thing that I'm going to talk about is that not only will people try to put asterisks on your accomplishments, we must understand something very clear. Everything is impossible until somebody does it. And for someone to do the impossible, for someone to do something incredible, we can't just haphazardly become incredible, right? We can't just become exceptional by accident. And what it takes is a dedication. It takes a sacrifice that most people aren't willing to give. Do you think it's fun being a marathon runner? Maybe it is, right? Because like I can say that I ran track briefly, and like running distance and doing it, like it becomes like you get this endorphins. It's great. But do you guys really think that you would enjoy getting up and running tens of miles every single day? Eating super healthy, all these kind of things. And when we look at this accomplishment, people again are trying to talk down on it and say what it is. And we look at it in the moment and we say, this guy was born to be a racer. And I see the headlines. I was like, look at it, like, born to be a racer. No one's ever been like him. He's genetically engineered. Like, and they break down all these reasons why he's successful. And they ignore the work that he puts in. And so I found a really great breakdown of what his regimen was leading up to this. And I think there's a couple things to point out, right? We look at it as just, oh, one Saturday you got up and you ran. But this guy's a career marathoner. He's been doing marathons for decades. The second thing is that this guy has been at the top of the world rankings for a long, long time. For a long, long time. And this is not his first attempt to break this record. He actually tried not 1 year ago, but 2 years ago to break this record. And he failed. He came up short. So if it was just the tools, then he could have got it done, right? But he failed the first time. He continued to work and improve. And leading up to this race, he spent 4 months, like I said, locked up in seclusion, training, getting his mind right, eating healthy, sleeping, everything directed towards this one day, this one accomplishment. He had nutritionists, exercise, physical therapy, massage therapists. He had an entire team of runners. He had all the equipment. He had all these things come together for this incredible feat. And for you guys, right, the lesson of this is that if you want to do something incredible, we often, like we talk about like this instant success. There is no instant success. For some of you guys, you work for a little bit and you're like, oh, I'm not getting the A. I got to stop. Well, you know, I was in this activity and you know what? They didn't make me the leader second week. You know what? I was in this research project and they didn't give me a publication. They gave me my own project the first quarter. What the heck? I'm leaving. And you guys give up on things before you get your comeback. And something that I will say today and I will continually say to you guys is that success follows struggle. It follows sacrifice. It does not come before. You guys hear what I'm saying? Success, opportunity, greatness follows struggle, follows sacrifice, follows dedication. And until you are willing to do those things for as long as it takes to get that success, you're not going to get it. And for some of us, right? So I could go out and maybe be a championship marathoner. But do you think that I would have the same, it would take me the same amount of time to be that great as it's maybe taken people who've been already running marathons? No, it'll take me a lot longer. So for you guys as students, you have to recognize we can all be at different places on the spectrum of greatness. It doesn't mean we can't get there. It just means it's going to take longer. It's going to take more practice. It's going to take more effort, more discipline than it will take other people. So as you guys see other people who are successful, who are doing things that you want to do, don't just look to them and say, oh, it's instant success. Understand the work that it took to develop all these things and be willing yourself to live that lifestyle. And if you aren't willing to live that lifestyle, if you aren't willing to do what's required to be successful, then don't be surprised when the success don't come. When you're looking at other people's success saying, where's my success? Your success was in that work that you weren't willing to do. Your success was there and you didn't take it. You didn't go get it. And I'll leave you guys, right as we close this up. Sir Walter Scott said, to the timid and hesitating, everything is impossible because it seems so. How many of you guys have been timidly and hesitantly pursuing your dreams? You're in school knowing darn well you don't know how to study. You're in school knowing you should be doing one thing. I'm going to go to this party instead. I could go study. I should go study. I know this paper's due, but I don't feel like it right now. Oh man, get in the class. That's too far. I have to find parking. I just can't. How many of you guys are timid, are hesitant, and worse, how many of you guys are running from your success, from your opportunity, from your greatness? That's what makes things impossible. If you guys are ready to stop having everything be impossible, when you're ready to step up into it, let me know today. Send me a message today. You can go to my website, right? You can comment below. You can go to my website and you can send me a voicemail and let me know that today's the day you stop messing around. Today is the day you take your future, that you're going to be the exceptional person like Eliud Kipchoge. You're going to be that person who breaks what's possible for your family, for your community, for what people say about you and the labels they put on you. Today is the day that you're going to step up to your greatness and you're going to start the long haul. It might be a hike, a far hike, right? A huge climb for some of you guys. But tell me today that today's going to be the day you're going to commit to making that journey. Let me know, guys. Reach out to me. And then when you're ready to take that first step, please, I beg of you, get your mind right. Because there are so many people out here, including yourself, who are in your mind causing negativity, right? Taking away, you don't have positive visualization, you have negative visualization because they're laying out all the reasons why you won't succeed. The very first step is to get your mind right, guys. And I have a great course, the Successful Student 21-Day Mindset Makeover. It's going to change your mind. It's going to show you, oh snap, I can be great. That way, once you have that belief, you can then go and you can start acquiring the tools and the skills and the knowledge you need to be great. And for me, it didn't happen overnight. And even today, I still learn, right? Even as an anesthesiologist, as a person who's already graduated, I still learn every single day on how I can be better, how I can be a greater person, because my potential, I still haven't reached it. I'm still working on that. So you guys need to acquire tools and skills and dedication to get there. Okay? And the third thing, as we said today, right, is that people are going to put asterisks on your name because you got help, because you got support, because you asked questions, whatever it is. Don't ever let them make you feel bad for doing what you have to do to be successful. And recognize that the flip side of that is that to be successful in a big, big way, to be dominant, as I say, right? No excuse, just dominate. You are going to have to do things and acquire tools and skills that other people aren't willing to or aren't able to get. So what are you doing today? As I'm always going to ask you guys, what are you doing today to get to your dominance? Are you making excuses today or are you making progress? Excuses or progress, only two options. So I encourage you, start right now. I'm challenging you. Cut the excuses, start making action, and start dominating, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Whew. Right? Who's with me with this one take, right? This is 30, we're going 34 minutes right now. And I hope you guys are enjoying this and you guys understand what we're going to be talking about, how I'm going to be every single week bringing you information to help you be great in some way. Thank you guys very much. Check out my website. Send me a voicemail. Let me know you guys are enjoying this. It's studenttransformation.com. There's amazing courses over there, amazing content to help you guys get better. Thank you again. I'm Dr. Andre Pineset. As always, no excuses, just dominate. I'll see you guys later. Today is the day, guys. No more excuses, no more complaining. You're going to take your future in your own hands. You're going to dominate. You're going to be successful. Get to my website, studenttransformation.com. I challenge you. What are you going to do today to make your life better?